Okay, so first of all, a few important announcements that I have already made on your on your course shell, like the Blackboard. But I would definitely just repeat them over here because because of the Friday we were unable to come online. I know that it was almost more than half of the Canada which were unable to go online on Friday. I think you were amongst them as well. So there was no, first of all, there was supposed to be the test for NJJ. It did not happen. There was supposed to be the class for ZBB. That usually is our part 2, and that really did not happen. So I put an announcement on your course shell as well as on our group, like the WhatsApp group, and I'm very happy to see that you guys have not left your habit of not putting up a thumbs up on the message by after reading that one. I'm really happy about it because it's called so only from this session what I see is Romar is there. What I see is that I think other than Romar there is no one. I don't see if someone else has done that till now. So there was an announcement on our group. I'll share my screen so that I can show you what's going on. So can you see my screen now? I'm hoping that you can see my screen now. Okay, thank you. So you see here, this was the announcement that I made on the Teams that for test 7, the test 7 that's going to be for you guys, it's going to be on Thursday, by the way. So week 9 part 1 and also week 7 will be included. Now week 7 will be included. Why? Because if you remember, if you have looked at the week 9 part 1 recording, rather not recording, it was a live lecture with you. So you remember that we have discussed week 7 as well. There was discussion on the DOM and all those things, and we have talked about that. So as you have seen the recording, the week 9 part 1, that we have first reviewed and covered some of the important topics from week 7 too. Therefore, the test 7 prepare for test 7 prepare both week 9 part 1 and week 7 in general. So you should be familiar with the week 7 as well and week 9 part 1. So week 9 part 1 typically, yes, why not? You can talk to me after the class, Daniel, right? When I just end up, you can talk to me. So here, as I said, that I'm really happy that only from this session I can only see Romar, and I can see Chun, who has just done that right now. Oh, you are LC. Okay, like Quench. Okay, that's wonderful. But again, other than that, you see that how seriously guys are taking my announcement since the day 1, and that's wonderful to know. I'm really happy to see that. Anyhow, so again, that was an announcement that I would just like to reiterate here, so that it goes in the record. So for test 7, you will have week 9 part 1 and week 7 as well, because week 9 part 1 it had only very little CSS that we started. But anyhow, what I'll do is that I will include that week 7 portion in that one as well. So be ready for that, and I will just go about that one also. Okay, so let me just find out our lecture, the folder for the last week, and I'll show you what we have done till CSS. And today we will be just starting from that point onwards, and we'll just go to see some fun part. Okay, so we had this lecture course, and this was week 9 that we had last week, right? So I'll just open up that folder first, and I'll show you that what we have done in week 9. Okay. So last week, like the week 9, which has only one part, by the way, because of the obvious issues. So we have talked about CSS, cascading style sheets. The real topic was cascading style sheets. And we saw that the cascading style sheets have rules, and the rule contains of 2 things, a selector and the key value pair, showing the rule, like what we have to apply. Then we talked about where to put CSS. We saw that, okay, there is one thing that we apply inline styles when we are defining the tag, or internal embedded when we are defining the style in the head section. Then we talked about external files when we define a style in external file and link it with our document. And if you remember, we have linked to the external documents, other documents as well. So it does not really matters that how many files you are connecting. You can connect to any number of files. The browser itself gives some designing, and we have seen that. Okay, browsers also have some styling, but that's so simple and that's so obvious that we never really appreciate any of the browser styling. Anyhow, then we had CSS selectors. We talked about CSS selectors, that we can just select a tag. If you select a tag, the tag will be only applied that style. And if you remember, we have talked about that the tag selector. Then there is a class selectors, and I told you that a class selector is something that we have a class of style we define, and we can just use that class style of class in any of the number of tags elements. Excuse me. Then we have ID selectors. So ID selectors are specifically, ID is a unique item on a page. So for a particular situation where you want to apply a very unique style to a particular section, you will do what? You will have that ID selector over there. Then we have the contextual selectors, and I will be talking about some of them, most of them today. And then we had the grouping of selectors. And in our file, I think the last file that we create was July 5. And we had just applied this simple styling. First one was the style.css, and then July 5 style. And here we have not, so we covered that some of the examples over there in our, you remember code pen code when we were writing the code pen for typically. So now today I will just start with a new document in our new folder, because this is our new week. So I'll just go in directly into the new folder, and I would say that we have a new folder that is called WEEK10. I'll create the WEEK10 folder, and today I would like to work in this one, and I will start with an example of all the things that we have done, and then we will just move towards new topics, right? So let's create a file for today, index.html, and as well as style.css, right? So I'm just making style.css here. Otherwise, I've made you this habit of creating that one. Anyhow, so let's create an index.html file. Sorry. Okay. Interesting. Why is my good? Why is my EBIT abbreviation is not working? I don't know why. I'll have to just check that. Anyhow, so HTML is created, and I would like to just create this document and CSS details. This is our CSS details document that we are creating. Okay. So in this document, I will, for example, I will first of all say H1, some more CSS fun, right? So CSS is really a fun. You would have seen that we are applying styles, we are applying different things. Okay, so here I'm just doing something because I want to show you some styling techniques. So I'm creating a div over here, right? And inside div, I am giving a paragraph, right? And inside this paragraph, I'm giving a span. So I'll show you why, because this is just example that I've taken from your notes. But again, this you will really enjoy that one. Alan Smith, my usual favorite name, right? And then I'm just giving another paragraph, and inside that another span, right? And I'm saying age. For example, I say 20, right? And let's take a picture as well. So any picture, so I say img, src is equal to, for example, I would say, so I'll just bring that abc.jpg, which is not there. I'll just bring that, and I'll give width and height of some acceptable range. 200 and height equal to 200. Right, and then let's give a alt as well, ABC picture. Right, so we just created an index.html because we want to just work on it. Now, on this div box, we are saying that we can have containers of styling as well. So through this div box, if I say a class equal to info dash box, so I want to apply a style of info box to this div. What is the benefit? I'll tell you the benefit shortly. But what I have done is that I have just given an info style info box. So look at my code over here. I don't have an abc.jpg over here, which I will just bring now, because I want to have one picture, which is ABC, and I have some, again, those car pictures that I can take out any of them. So I will like to just copy that one, and you will see that shortly it will appear in my folder. So I just want to copy a file. Okay, so you see that it has a WhatsApp image that has come, but I can rename that, and I would rename that as ABC. And by the way, remember it's abc.jpeg, not JPG. So I'll say that JPEG. Okay, now let's run this document and see what happens. It's nothing new. It's nothing extraordinary about this one. Just a document that has a picture, and we have just done that so many times before as well. Okay, so if I just put that one, so this is my document right now. Some more CSS fun, name Alan Smith. The real thing is that I have given a class of info box to this div. Right now, I want to check whether this document is working or not. For checking this working or not, I can just apply one thing, which I always give: background color equal to very bad blue. So just to check. So this CSS, I have saved that, but this is not showing. Why? Why it is not showing? Because I have not connected this CSS with this file. Remember, everyone? I'll come over here and I will say link, and I would give it a name, style.css. You know what I mean? Now you see that now the CSS is connected, and I can see that this is of blue color background, right? So again, I don't want this one right now because this looks very bad, but I know that CSS is now working and is connected. Now we have created a class over here, info box. So I'll come in the styling, and I will say, see here what I'll say. I'll say info dash box. Remember, when you're defining the style, you need a dot over here. Remember, everyone? So I'm defining a class. So class is equal to info box. So info box should have some styling applied to this. So I'm saying border. So this is a way to write that one. I'll explain shortly how we write 1 pixel solid green border. As I hit save, you can see on the right side of the screen what happens. Now, are you guys getting that? Info box is basically what? This all div that I have created. So you see that all div elements have come inside a green bordered box. Does that make sense to everyone? So I've just applied one pixel green border to my info box. And again, this is one of the way of defining of the border. Now let's do one more thing. I have inside info box, I have 2 paragraphs. So if I come over here, contextual selector. So I'll say info box. Rather, if I just write it like this, P paragraph, and I want to change their font family, and I want to change their font family to, for example, serif, something like that. Okay. Which one I would like to do, for example, Lucida Sans, for example. Let's do that. Yeah, this looks good. So just family will come, and I've just appeared font families. So paragraph. So I have done this, and by the way, I just want to have this inside this div. If I had some paragraph over here, so I have a P here. These is some explanation of CSS concepts, right? So if I just say, so you see that if I have given a paragraph, you remember that paragraph means that all paragraphs have become of this Lucida Sans, which I don't want. So how can I make sure that only the text inside this box is basically only the paragraph which is inside this should get that one? For that, I will do contextual selection. Do you guys remember that? Info dash box space P. Can I have a quick feedback from everyone? Do you remember that? This is called contextual selection. Now, if you see here, if I hit save now, do you see that now this text does not changes, rather only this text changes. Why? Because I've set a P which is inside info box. That's good. Rohan is also saying yes. You remember that one. Okay. So I want to apply most of the styling to that info box only. Info dash box space span. So whatever span is there. So my info box has two spans inside that. You see span, two spans are there. So I will say, for example, font weight. If you say font weight bold, look at the right side of my screen. Which one is span? Only name and age are spanned. If you see, this is span. And span has not been given an ID. So I'm right now just selecting this span like that. I'm just selecting the tag itself, not any ID or something. So you see name and age both have gone strong. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, now let's talk about something else. And rather, I've applied width and height over here. I will not do that because CSS takes care of those things. So it's a very big, of course, very bad and very big. So I come over here and I'll say dot info box space img. Whenever an image comes inside info box, its width should become 100 pixel and height should become 100 pixel. You know what I mean? I'm just applying this style in that one. Can you make about outside background with an image or address on the style? I wasn't the sub. Daniel, can you unmute yourself? And I'm not sure if I'm able to make sense of your question. Yeah. Yeah, Daniel is saying something. Are you saying something, Daniel? Okay, Daniel, I'm not able to make. I'm not able to make any. I don't know if I'm understanding your question properly. But anyhow, if you want, you can just unmute yourself and talk. And by the way, Daniel, I have not talked about lots of things related to CSS. It's just the beginning of CSS. So don't worry about that. Maybe I will be covering that in the coming day. And for the assignment purpose, I think till now there is no assignment that has asked you to just do CSS anyhow. So just don't worry about that if you are just applying. So you see that I have just created a box and now I can apply any styling to the box. Let me tell you, I think I have shown you that last time. So there is something called border radius as well, which is very interesting. If I say 10 pixel border radius, look at my border. So you see that it becomes very nicely smooth and like that. You know what I mean? And I'll talk about most of the properties today, but I was just letting you know that these are the kind of things. Make sense, everyone? That border radius is there. There are so many properties that we have not talked about. One of the property that I will definitely talk about today, but let me just tell you right now, which is called margin. Rather margin, I'll say padding. It's called padding, and padding on the left. If I want to apply some padding on the left, look at my document, what will happen? 10 pixel. If I apply some 10 pixel padding to my info box, see what will happen. Do you guys understand what has happened? My name, age, and picture has gone a bit offset from the left. I'll talk about this padding and margin and everything. Picture is very small. Can I make it 200? Now this looks a bit more. You see? So now it has a very nice little gap between these two things. And I'll tell you that how you will just create those gaps and all those things. And by the way, if you remember last time some students asked that, and I gave them an example that if I apply border radius to the picture as well. And another interesting part, if I say 50%, you remember that picture will go around it. Cool, isn't it? And we have seen that last time as well. So anyhow, we can just do lots of things. You can change the border like that. You can just say, okay, 10 pixel border, you just make so you see that picture has also gone a bit rounded in shape. So there are lots of things that we can do. But anyhow, I'll just talk about that. But here our purpose was that we can have a box. And now what is the benefit of that? Defining a class, because I have defined a class. So do you know that if I want to create another div over here, if I want to create another div, Control C and Control V, do you know that I can create any number of divs with different names and I can apply the same class? I say Bob Smith, age is 23, and let's leave the picture exactly the same. Do you see? I just keep on creating that one and it will keep on creating. So I have one style class and I can apply to this anything at all. Make sense, everyone? And those of you might be wondering why they are overlapping. Again, I'll just tell you, but again, let me tell you, there is something, a property called margin, and I'll apply that on the bottom. On the bottom of every box, of every info box, just apply a 10 pixel like margin. So it will just remove. You see that now my picture looks very nice. And now if I say width, and if I say width is equal to 300 pixels, something like that, let's check that one. So my box becomes like this. Can I get a quick feedback? Are you guys getting that one? Again, I'll discuss what is this margin. I'll discuss what is this width and everything. But anyhow, just giving you a quick sense of okay things, because today I'll just talk about all these things. Romar says clear. Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So let's talk about something, and I want to create a notes file as well today, because you know notes file is always good if you want to write some notes. So today we'll talk about CSS units. The units we are talking about, this pixel, what is everything. So to apply for the font sizes, to apply for the width and heights and different things, we use different CSS units. One of the very popular unit is PX that we are using, pixels. But let's talk about the most common units in CSS, which are in the notes as well. I'm just mentioning that there is. So again, if I do not mention any size, by default, font size is 16 pixel on our page. In pixel, it's always 16 pixel if I don't define any size. So for example, this one might be up to 16 pixel. This is H1, so H1 has a different style, different one. So unless I give some style, like some styling, the default font size is 16 pixel. 16 pixel is roughly equal to 12 in PT. There is something called the points. We have got the points as well. So 16 pixel is equal to 12 points, which is equal to 1 EM. And I'll talk about this 1 EM. EM is a very important unit that we use. And only that, not M, we have RAM as well. I'll talk about both of them. But they are a bit different, like, they are not equivalent, but I'm just mentioning that there will be a RAM as well that I'll talk about. So 16 pixel is equal to 12 PT points. In points, if you mention, it will be 12 PT, which will be equal to 1 EM, not 1 RAM. 1 RAM is different, but again, we will discuss RAM as well. I should take it away because, it will just create a confusion that maybe they are equal. So 1 M, and I'll talk about the RAM as well, which is equal to 100%. This is very important unit considerations. And you would really appreciate when we just start making use of all these events, all these units in our program. You know what I mean? Now, let's talk about something first of all. This document is here, right? And what I'll do is that in the document, I will just place one more P paragraph after this div, just for nothing, just to put a lorem here, just to show you some text and the sizing issues related. What is my, this is 100%. Okay, so let me just, make the one more lorem, a bit more text, right? And let's make another paragraph and another lorem. Right, so we have multiple paragraphs over here. So come in the style. So this is a very important thing that I'm about to tell you. Usually what we do, that we start with body and HTML. So we say that everything, HTML and body. So, combining two tags together. So we define the font size. We can define anything into that body and HTML. So if I say font size 16 pixel, do you guys see that there is no major difference on my document. You experience that? There is no major, because I have told you 16 pixel is a default. Sorry. Okay, there's its comment is different, so I'll just write down. Oh, sorry. So I'll write down 16 pixel is the default font size. Are you guys getting that? So you see that there is no difference has made in over here. And by the way, if I ask you rather than 16 pixel, if I write 12 pt, will there be any change in the size? If I say 12 pt, Rohan, will there be? No, there will be no difference, because we have just discussed that all of them are exactly the same, 12 pt. Or if I say 1 m em, 1 m, they are all same, right? So where does the story start of changing? So for example, if I say, I'll just leave this as a font size, and I'll make it comment for a second. If I say the default font size on the body of document will be 32 pixels, for example, I start with the 32 pixels. So I want to make it double. By the time I hit save, see what happens. Do you see that font size has gone double? So 16 was the default size, and 32 means it has gone double. Same goes over here. If I, rather than writing this, I say 2 em. So you understand that I'm talking about 32 pixels again, yet again. So, oh, it has made more bigger. And I'll tell you that why it is making more bigger. It is not 32, it has become 64, because I'll let you know. If I say 1 em, for example, so now it's back to the default size. Let me just see 2 em. 2 em is much more bigger. Anyhow, I'll just talk about that. So the font size by default is 16 pixels. And if you want to change that into something else, you define that in the body of the HTML. You just define that in the body of the HTML. So if I come here and I say, for example, if I say, let's keep it 16 pixel by the way, or by the, yes, 16 pixel. Let's keep it 16 pixel right now. This is the default font size. Make sense, everyone? Now, these are all the paragraphs which are coming inside input box, like info box. I come over here and I just define something for the paragraph, font size, right? I want to define the font size. Now see here, font size. So if I give a font size over here, this font size will override the font size of the parent, which is 16 pixel. So if for a paragraph, if I say it should be 20 pixel for paragraph, right? If I hit save, do you see that my paragraphs have gone a bit bigger because they have gone to 20 pixels? So it will override that one. Make sense, everyone? It will override that. So what is this M? What is this percentage? I will just talk about those and I'll go to the notes back. So first of all, I will talk about M event. What is EM? M. M is basically the typically, or literally, it is the width of the capital letter M. It's the width of the M size. This is called EM unit. EM unit is very interesting. EM unit is a scalable unit. It's a scalable unit. And it is mostly used in web media. You will from now onward, you will see me using rather than like EM or REM, RAM, but I will tell you that what is the difference between these two. But you just suppose that, so if I say, so for example, if I say font size 1 EM, listen about that one. EM is a scalable unit. It talks to its parent. What is its parent size? Now, P is the child of what? If you see this, P is the child of what? If I ask you, P is the child of what? If I just show you something like that here. Do you know that this P is the child of body? Daniel, does that make sense? This P is the child of the body. So it goes to the body and asks, how many font size do you have? So the body says that I have right now default font size 16 pixel. So if you have given 1 EM, it will understand that, okay, I have to go in pixel form, I have to go 16 pixel. But there is a very important difference that I'll tell you. But first of all, are you understanding? 1 EM means 16 pixel. Now, if I say that no, I want to have font size of 2 EM, but do you understand what will happen? If I say 2 EM, now my font size have gone 32 pixels. Why? Because when it says, okay, I have to go twice of the M size, twice of the EM. What is this EM? I will go to this parent and I'll ask, what is the size that you have? It says I have 16 pixels. It will say, okay, 2 EM means I will be 32 pixels. If I say 3 EM, you see how big the font is becoming? It's basically what? 16 by 3 is 48, like 48. And if I show you this EMU, indicates the desired height of a glyphs of the font. For a scalable font, the font size scale factor applied to EM unit of the font. Note that the certain glyphs may bleed outside their EM box for non-scalable. So anyhow, they're just talking about details about that one. But remember, EM means go to its parent, whatever is your parent. This P has all P have the parent of this body. They will go to the body and ask what is the size do you have, and they will convert that into multiply that into 3 EM. Are you guys getting that? So let's just put it 1 EM. So EM is a scalable unit, but let's talk about the REM also over here. I'll just talk about REM also. REM is another very interesting one. EM has a technical problem. What is that? I will show you. If I come over here in the font, like in the P of the info box, if I say font size 1 EM, can anyone tell me what is the font size of the paragraph text in my info box? 1 EM means how much will be the size over there? Romar, what will be the size? If I say for this paragraph 1 EM, 1 EM means what will be the size? 16 pixel, because it will go to its parent. First of all, this paragraph is inside this. It will go to the parent, but parent has not defined any font size. So it will go to the parent of that one. It will say body, what is the font size? It will say 16 pixel. It will say 1 EM means I will go to the 632. I will go to 16 pixel. Sorry, I will go to 16 pixel. Make sense, everyone? Now, good. Someone has replied. If I say 2 EM, so you see only the paragraph inside info box has gone to 2 EM. Romar, you know 2 EM means it has gone to 32 pixels. Make sense? Now, here comes a very important problem. If I go to info box and if I give a font size over here, and again, maybe in EM font. So if I say 2 EM, 2 EM, I have given the font size is equal to 2 EM. Now listen, can someone guess that what will be the font size over here now? Because remember the rule of thumb, it will always go to its parent. So this P has a parent, info box div. You remember, this P has a parent of info box div. So it will first go to its parent and it will ask, what is the size you have? It says, I have 2 EM. And you know, if the info box is at 2 EM, it means that it is 32 pixel right now. Exactly, Daniel, this will be 64 pixel now. Are you guys understanding that? And this is very important because I'll tell you the difference between this EM and RAM, because RAM is important over here. Daniel, you are exactly right. It will be 64 pixels. Is everyone getting why 64 pixel? Because its parent was saying that I am 32, so you have to go 64 because it always goes to its parent, not the parent of parent. If there is no font size defined, it will go to the parent of parent. Otherwise, it will just go to its parent, find out the size, and multiply it to 2 by 2. Can I get thumbs up? Can I get a message or thumbs up from everyone in the chat window that you understand what's going on, other than Daniel? Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now see here. It means that EM has a problem. EM goes to the parent and adjusts its size according to the parent. Here comes another unit, which is called REM. Now I'll show you. If I write REM and I change this one to REM again. First of all, look at my output and try to guess what has happened. Whenever we write RAM unit, RAM represents root element. So now this P will not go to its parent and ask about the size. This P will now go directly to the root, which is HTML or body, and it will ask what is the size. Okay, I will multiply by 2. It means now it is not 64 pixel, now it is 32 pixel. Does that make sense to everyone? This is very important. We are disassociating it with parents combination. We are saying that don't ask your parent, just go directly to the root and ask that. So RAM unit will not go to its immediate parent. RAM will always go to the root element first. Chirag, are you getting that? This is very important concept. And you know, this will save us from a lot of hassle, because we don't know what is the size of the box, and then inside that I'm making 2 RAM. It will say, okay, so if whenever I will write a 2 RAM or I will write a RAM means go to the parent and find out whatever the size is and just convert that one according to that. Daniel says yes. Can I have a yes from everyone? You understand what's the RAM? RAM is so important. RAM means root element. You know, you can just remember this RAM as a root element. Okay, so this is the first one. I have discussed this. Okay, what's happened? That has gone big. Why? I see. Okay, so if I come back over here, so we have discussed M and RAM. Then we have PT. PT is very simple, fixed point. It never changes. And I'll tell you, okay, I just forgot to mention one more thing. This M or RAM unit is very, very interesting. Why? Because of accessibility issues. I'll show you something very interesting. If you see that the body has a 16 pixel size, 16 pixel means this paragraph right now is of 16 pixel. Manthan, does that make sense? It is 16 pixel. But what I have done for info box, I have changed it to the 2 RAM, which is 32 pixel, and 2 RAM to the info box P. So it means that they are all 32 pixels. For example, this is 32 pixels right now. You know what I mean? Now, if I just go in my settings of Chrome, if you go to the settings of Chrome, I want to show you something very, very interesting. Some people, because of their where did I find that appearance. So because of their accessibility, they will go to appearance and they will say the font size should be very large. Very large. You know what I mean? So I've just set up this to very large. If I close this, experience something. The font size that was given in pixel, it remains exactly the same size where it was before. But the font size that has been given in RAM, it changes itself according to the view being generated by the user, accessibility user. Are you guys getting that? RAM and M, they are very important because they are adaptable, they are scalable. Now I'll show you another thing. I think you are not convinced. I'll just try to convince you over here. Exactly, second, we should always use RAM. So if you come over here, you see from very large to very small. Someone says that I want very large, very small. If you go back, okay. So why it is not showing a smaller one? This should show a smaller one. Just give me a second and let me check one with the M, because M definitely works with that, but I'll have to check that. Okay, is that even working? Oh, sorry. Is that even safe that I have applied? Let's check that. Settings, appearance, yes, it has to be applied against default. Okay. It says medium recommended, very small. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, let's take away this for a second. Okay, looks like yeah, exactly. We can do that as well. Let me just check that what it is doing. So very large, it has to go to very large. This is my 100% size, and the font is going larger, but why it's not going smaller? It should go to smaller as well because it is adaptive font. Right. Looks like there is some change in that one, but anyhow, I'll just say accessibility. We'll just talk about it. Anyhow, it's not that it's that an issue, but again, I don't know why it's not working for this one, because I've just checked it so many times. If I say large, so the text should only go large with this one, but it's going in. Anyhow, so generally considering, if you generally consider it, that PT and all those font size, they're generally considered as non-adaptable, and they should not be generally used. So again, we will, or if you ask about like normal recommendation, the normal recommendation is that always try to use a RAM or AM in your documents, right? So we have to just use the RAM or AM in our documents, and RAM or AM will do what? They will go to the parent, and it will just they will just change that one into this one. So again, 2 RAM means 16 multiplied by 2, 32 pixels. And if I give, for example, if I just come over here and if I say 20 pixel, now can you tell me what does 2 M or 2 RAM means? 2 RAM. I'll just write RAM again. What does 2 RAM means now? If I have given this 20 pixels. So again, go to the parent, not parent, go to the root and find out what is the font size. Font size is 20 pixel. It will say, okay, 2 multiplied by 20 is equal to 40. So I will be 40 pixel in size. Are you guys getting that? And we can go to reverse as someone said, 0.5 RAM. As someone is asking some right now, 0.5 RAM. So I want to have the info box font size. For info box, I want to okay. That's why, because I have this font size also even given over here. So it is just not allowing you to. So if you see here that I have just given 0.5 RAM, I can even change the font size. I can say 0.9 RAM. You see font keep on increasing and decreasing. If I say 0.6 RAM, you see font is keeping on increasing and decreasing. So we can just do this RAM. But if you talk about the PT is a fixed point one, right? And 1 PT is equal to 1 upon 72 of the inch, right? 1 upon 72, 72nd part of the inch is basically a 1 PT. You know what I mean? This is PT. And then we have a pixel. Pixel are also considered as the fixed size units. And 1 pixel is equal to 1 dot. 1 dot on our screen is basically 1 pixel. You know about the pixels. This my all screen is like made up of pixels, and 1 dot is typically everywhere. 1 dot is representing 1 pixel at a time. Then we have another one, which is percentage. This is very important. It is similar to EM, and it scales itself. It scales itself, right, with the display size. With display size, it just scales itself. So if you say 100%, it means that it will always remain 100% of the width. So if for example, if I show you something like that, if I come over here for the picture, for the width, if I come over here and I say 100%. For image, I am saying pixel width is equal to 100%. If I hit save, do you see that my picture is all occupying the complete box now? Because if 100% of its parent, the box. Are you guys getting that? So width is equal to 100% means always it will be just stuck to the top. And again, you remember, I have done that over there, margin left. So I can do a margin right as well. And I will just show you margin right, which will make it just pushed away from the right side as well. Margin right. I've given the right spelling. Yeah. Right. Oh, sorry. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Hengi. Yes, padding right. It was that. So you see here, now this is basically the padding will be doing that. And that will I'll discuss when I will be discussing the box model. Thank you, Hengi, by the way. Thank you very much. Okay, so now if you see that the size, the 100 pixel, and 100% means, again, see, if I just keep on increasing by some ways, for example, this box keeps on increasing, it will keep on increasing by itself, right? So for example, let me show you one more thing. That, for example, the box width is also 100%, right? Not 300 percent, 100 pixel. So if I say 100% of the width, so you see the box is also 100%. And if I keep, you see that it all destroys because this picture does not go there. But it is going 100% of the width. Why? Because I have set it up so. So whenever box will go, the picture will go with it. Adaptive one, but again, be very careful while using this one. because this not always works as we want it to work. 300 pixel seems to be working good for us, but the picture is now 100%. So percentage width, and then we have last VW and VH. These are two called viewport height and width, and they are actually equal to, for example, if I say one viewport width is equal to 1%, same like 100% and something like that. So if I say VW 100, it means I'm talking about 100%. And VW is the viewport where we are just looking at something, that is called a viewport. Right, getting everyone? This is basically what this is. These are few of the units, and there are some other units as well. You will just come to know when you will be just talking about those units. You will see that there are some interesting units over there. So this is related to the event, the units. We have just talked about the units. Right. Let's talk about the colors. Some of the related to colors. So colors are represented in, one of the very standard way of representing is RGB, red, green, blue. So if you don't know the name of the color, for example, if I come over here and I say for the info box background color, if I want to apply a background color to here, so I'll say background color, and I can just name something. For example, I say wheat, for example. So it has a wheat background color. Or if I don't know the name, like the name of the color, I can write RGB. So see here, if I write something like that, 255 0,0, this is red color. So this first one represents the red color, second one represents the green, and third one represents blue. So if I write, rather than this 255, I write 255 over here, and I remove this 255, make it 0. So I'm talking about only green. And same goes over here. If I just do that, rather than this one, so I'm talking about all blue. And any combination, if I want to make any combination, so I will say 225 or 250, for example, and I say 25, and I say, for example, 30, something like that. If I hit save, there will be some color which has more greenish accent. If you just see that, now it is more darkish green or something like that. So you have RGB color. Yes, or you can give the hexadecimal color. That's very interesting point. So if I say that if I want to give a background color, so I can write a hash value, and then again we can just write a hex value over here. What does that hex value means? The hex value means that you can write FF. It is for the red 00 and 00. If I write this FF 0000, this is called hex red. And FF means, if you know about hexadecimal values, F is the maximum value, maximum highest value. So if I just do that 00 FF and either in this that part 00, so you see that it becomes green. And if I do something like this, so it will become a blue. And again, any combination of this. So if I say 12 of the red, and for example, EF of green, and 02 of red, blue. So if I want to make something like this color, so you see that it will be a some color. And by the way, this Visual Studio Code is so friendly. If you come over here, it will just show you the colors, and it is showing the hexadecimal values over there as well. If I want to make this color, I don't even know what is the name of the color, but if I just put that one, so and I hit save, this color will be applied over. Make sense, everyone? These are the color values, and you can name color, you can use RGB, you can use hexadecimal, and these all are basically the colors and things like that. So I just don't want to have a background color right now, just to make it a bit more clear. Okay. So then there are certain more properties. I talked about the border as already. We have talked about the border. Border is a very interesting one, and we'll be using this border lots of time in our coming classes. But let's talk about some more things. So for example, this paragraph is of 1 EM size, not 1 EM. I want to say 2 RAM. Just make it 2 RAM again. I want to make this paragraph as like 2 rem. 2 rem means I want to have them over there. And if I want to apply some of the text styling, I can say text align. There's one called text align, and I can say center. If I say text line center, so you see that text has gone to the center, which does not look very prettier right now. So if I say text align left, so it will be aligned to the left. And if I say text align justify, so if I say justify, you see the text will go justified. Make sense, everyone? This is for the text alignment. Okay, and after that, I can say text decoration. And we use text decoration too much in our links because I want to, if I say underline, if I say text decoration underline, you see that all my text will be underlined. There are certain other values as well. If I say line through, and if I hit save, you see that all text will be line through text. Or if you remember, someone asked that in the last class as well. If I say none, there will be no text applying. So text transform, if you want to transform the text into something. So if you say uppercase, it will just transform all the text into uppercase. Are you guys getting that? So these are the text properties related to text. Then we have certain properties related to font, as like font size. In the same way, we have font family. And font family, I can just, you see that all the, some of the families are already given over here. I can use any one of them. So for example, I say Cambria, I want to use here, right? And I would like to just place this one over here. So I want to apply that Cambria. So if you see that this becomes Cambria, I don't want them to be a transformed, parent, because uppercase, because I would like. So now this font looks very nice, right? And there is one more thing that you can do, and I'm just giving you that over here. So if I say line height is very interesting. If I say 3 pixel, line height 3 pixels, see here what will happen. You see, everything has gone into itself because 33 pixel is very less. So if I say line height is 10 pixel, looks again does not look, because we are in paragraph. So let's say 100 pixel. Let's see that. So now you see that lines are 100 pixel arranged, away from each other. You know what I mean? And we will be using that in one of the examples. I will show you that here we are just doing, because on internet you want to just show font at a very relaxing, relaxing space. It should be very relaxed. So 70 is still much. If I say 60 pixel, it's again a bit more. If I go 40, it's a bit less. So if I say 50 pixels, you see that now it looks like 50 pixels. So this is the line height. If you want to just change the line height of the someone. Now here I would like to just tell you a very interesting thing. There are lots of web fonts available that we can use. So we don't know the name of every font. So there is something very interesting called Google Fonts. If you want to use any font from the outside world. So I want to use a Google font. So you go to Google Fonts because you want to use that in your website and you don't know how to do that. I'll just tell you. So for example, I have few already included over here, and what I'll do is that I'll just try to remove them because I want to show you the method to the beginning. Delete that one and delete that one for the time. You don't have any font selected. So see here, when you go there, and for example, one of the font that I like very interesting, Dancing Script, and you can use. So this is the Dancing Script, which looks very nice font. I want to use it. So click on that font, right, and it will show its different, different. So different, available options that are there. Why it is not showing those options here? Okay, let's select any other one for the time being. Let's. We're searching for that one. No, I don't want to download the family. Don't worry about that. Okay. Yeah. So see here, for example, I want to select this style. So I'll say select this style, right? And there is the option. If I just refresh that one. Yeah. So I get this option over here. You might be getting that. Sometimes I do not get. So it says that if you want to use this Dancing Script font, you have two ways of doing that. One is this link, and one is this import. I would recommend you to do this import. What do you do? just copy this at import. Don't copy the style. At import from there, copy this one, come to your document, and at the very top of your CSS, import this file. You know what I mean? I just imported a file which has a family of dancing scripts. Now, this is not the end of the world. We have to do something else as well. So let me just show you the document as well. And I would like to show you. So now after that, what we need to do, we'll see that if you want to use that CSS rule, you have to use this font family is equal to dancing script or cursive. Control C, if I go to this paragraph, or all paragraphs, and rather than this font family, if I just remove that and convert that into dancing script, see my document now. If I hit save, do you guys see that? I can use any of the fonts that are available online, and that is quite an interesting feature, because if I want to use a font that is not there, and there are some fonts that are used by like standard fonts. Whenever you are making your website style, try to use that. Roboto is one of the fonts that Google uses more, which looks very straightish form, and it has, for example, if I want to select that Roboto font, I'll just go there, and I'll say, for example, I want to select this one. So select this style, and again I'll let a refresh. It'll just come back. So if you see here now, it will have just import option is there. If I go to import, so it is just doing that dancing script and that together. So you can just import one thing. So Control C. So rather than over here, it has the dancing script as well. If I just go here and paste that, now it has dancing script as well as Roboto. And how to use Roboto, you can see that. If I want to use Roboto, I'll have to use font family Roboto sans serif. So if I Control C, if I go back over here, and again in this paragraph, rather than this dancing script, I don't want this dancing script. This looks a bit funny. Now this is now my font. Is that clear to everyone? Okay, Romar, thank you very much. So now I'll take a quick 5 minutes break, and after 5 minutes break, we'll just discuss some more interesting facts, interesting things. So be with me, and I'll be back after. Manipulate. Second, you can manipulate up to the level which they allow. So you can see that they can just allow what you want to do, 64 pixel. You want to make it a bigger size. So whatever you can, they will allow. You can just manipulate that way, right? So you just say regular what I want to do. So you can just maybe. So you need to just go through this font, and in CSS we can just transform that into something or something like that. But we cannot change those fonts over here. Like by the way, I don't know exactly about that. That you can change or manipulate the fonts over here, right? Again. Okay, so let's take a quick break of 5 minutes, and I'll be back after 5 to 6 minutes, and let's talk. Oh, definitely, you can do that kind of thing. So I don't know. I didn't know that. I thought you were. So second, see here, font weight. You come font weight and you say bold or something like that. So you see that font weight has gone bold, strong or bold or whatever. Font weight, here we have font weight or something like that, right? Second. So now let's take a break, and I'll be there after 5 to 6 minutes. Bye. And let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen now? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel. All right. Right, so we have been talking about some special facts, some special things about the CSS, and we have been looking at some of the properties. We have seen font size. We have seen some of the unit issues, and we'll just talk about some more important, interesting facts and interesting things before we move into. And all of them we will be using in one of the example that I will be just following this week or the next week, and that is quite an interesting thing that we will have a project where we will be just doing all those. all those all those things. Right. So there are certain special text effects that we can apply to different things. So for example, if I go to my, again, if I just apply a font family over here as well, and I want to apply Roboto, right? Just for nothing, I want to apply Roboto so that my all page has the same thing. Okay, so we have got this first H1. We have just got only one H1 over here because there is no other H1 in any of the document. So I would like to maybe just talk about a text effect, and I would like to talk a text effect on the H1. So if I come over here and I want to apply this style to H1, and by the way, any H1 that will come will have this style. And if I say, for example, color blue. So if I say H1 color blue, you see that my H1 is now coming as colored blue. Now, there is an effect called text shadow. This is very interesting. And let's see, I'll just talk about how its different values goes. We give 3 values and you will just, what does that mean? Thing does not look good. So maybe with that, I want to apply a green yellow, something like that. It should look that. So if I do that, if you see that a text shadow option has appeared with my text, if I just make it there, you see that text shadow has been applied. So again, if I just keep on increasing, you will know that what these values are representing. If I say 5 pixel to start with, so you see that now you experience a difference. And now if I say 5 pixel in the middle value, it goes to the downwards. If I say rather than 2 pixel, I say 5 pixel again. So you see that it has gone more blurred over there. So now if I just show you text shadow, what are the different options that text shadow has? I'll just show you. So if you see that text shadow property, it has multiple options. And let me just yeah. So horizontal shadow, vertical shadow, blur radius, and the color. Specifically, these are the options. So this is basically what edge shadow, horizontal shadow. This is vertical shadow, and this is the blur value. And if you see that the blur value, as I have increased the blur value, it has gone very just spread all over. If I say 1 pixel, you see that it is just bringing up like that one. You know what I mean? So that's basically if you want to apply some of the, and sometimes some guys want to apply a very blurred sum of text so that your text stands up and in front of it. You can just do that. You can just change the colors. You can just do what. So there are so many so many things that you would like to just do that. You know what I mean? So basically we have this this one option, and then there is one more option, and that is called text overflow. So I will not do that for this one. Rather, what I'll do is that I will do that for the paragraph for this one, right? Because it's inside and it might overflow on that one. So there is an option which is called text overflow. Text overflow, and it has multiple options. If I say ellipses, you see what will happen. So there are different options that we might just want to apply. So we are saying that text overflow should go it has to go it has to go to ellipses. So again, let's go back to this one index and let's try to make some more paragraphing over here. Let's try to do some paragraphing over here. So if I come inside this one and if I write a paragraph, and if I write lorem 100, something like that, right? And if I hit save, now I have got this text which you see that it's coming up over here. And what we do that we can just display that if the text is more than that one and the viewing area is not aligned, ellipsis means it will show the dot and it will represent that dot specific information over there, which is not showing. Now it has multiple options. It has one of the option as clip as well. If I just apply clipping, if I go there and I say clip, for example, let's see the clip. Okay, right now it is not making any. Okay, what I'll do is that I will give it a height as well, because we have just given the width. I can give a box height as well. So if I say the height is, for example, 400 pixels, something like that, not more than 400 pixels. So you see that has gone very bad. Now our text, so the paragraph, which is basically there, let me just show that. Okay, it's going very bad. I'll just change it to ellipsis. If I change the text overflow to ellipsis, still not showing very bad. Okay, let me just check that why it's doing that kind of thing. First of all, just make this family a bit smaller. Okay, it might not be working. I'll have to just look at that, why it is not working here. So we'll talk about that. I'll just have to look into that one. Text overflow. I'll just see that this option. Text overflow ellipsis. Maybe I'm just making some mistake. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, something like this kind. If there is more text, it will just show a dot after that. And if that clip means it has just deleted that one, and the text will be only visible into that area. If it is ellipsis, again, it means that there is some text which is going on after that one. And this is basically overflow, which is going overflowed, and this is overflow is basically with the inverted comma, something like that. So again, this ellipsis is supposed to be there, that it will just show a dot option. And if you want, you can just use that in any of the situations. I might not be using it. It's not looking very prettier over here. So I'll just stick with my already made that. Oh, I had made that more than 100% as well, right? So this document is going very much destroyed. I want to make it proper. Okay, so these are different options that we have been just applying. Then we have some background options for your font as well. And I don't know what I've done, so I'll just see that what's going on. Just take away the height for the time being. And as I said, I'm just doing an example where we'll just use all those kind of things. Anyhow, so we have just background color. And one of the things that I would like to discuss over here is that whenever we usually give the links in our web page, so I'll just give the links. Usually what we do is that we try to give links in unordered list. And I'll show you something over here. Unordered list. And unordered list has this li, which shows, which we have done in our first HTML class, home, about me, and let's make one more, contact, right? So I just created an unordered list that I want to make a link of, and I want to make them link as well. So if I just come over here, I will say a, and href is equal to hash. I just want to connect it to not to any link right now. So if I place it over here, and I'll do that same for everyone. A, and then href is equal to hash, and I want to put this about me into that one as well. Control X, and same over here for the contact, and hash and contact. So I just place them in link because I want to show you something related to the links. Now you see that these are the links are coming, and these links are underlined, and we can see that they are just showing underlined over here. Now, first of all, there is something called pseudo classes that can be used. So if when I'm taking my cursor over it, nothing changes. Now come over here, and we want to apply styling on that one. See how would you style that? First of all, I will say anchor tag. Whenever you come across the anchor tag, rather even before anchor tag, I'll talk about li. That whenever you come in li should not have any text. What is that property? Text style. Doesn't even know what is the property that we change for removing the bullet text. I always forget that one. Okay, removing bullets, bullet points, CSS. Okay, just keep. I just always forget about that. List style. Sorry. So I will just, maybe I'll just do that for the UL, and I'll say list style is equal to none. Okay, let's see that if it works. No, I will have to do that for the LI rather than UL, right? So LI, whenever you find an LI, you just do what? List style is equal to none. You see that all the like dots have disappeared. So we can just apply any of the styling over there. So I have just first of all done over there. That list style should be gone. Now I want to work on anchor tag. Like, anchor tag is that which is making the link over here. So first of all, I'll say text decoration. If you remember, we have talked about text decoration. I want a none text decoration over here. I don't want any of the underline over there. Do you see that? Now there are certain pseudo classes that are related to this A, which are very interesting. One of them, first of how to use the pseudo classes, we use a single colon and we write A colon hover. You know what I mean? So A colon hover. If someone hovers over it, change its color to red, for example, and change its text decoration to underline. You know what I mean? That A hover means whenever someone takes it over there, take the cursor over that, you will see that it basically does what? It changes the color to red and it basically puts an underline over there. Right? Is that making sense to everyone? Now what it is? Okay, text size. You mean you want to change the text size as well? Okay, no problem. So this is basically what? This is A dot hover. And if some link is visited, which we might not be able to see right now the effect, but if a link has been visited, the color should become, for example, yellow green, something like that, when a link has been visited. So you see, it's showing that this link has been visited, and now it is just showing that color, that now this is basically a visited link if you have visited that one. And there are certain links which are called active. So if we have an active link, what we want to do, that we want to say that, for example, when it's an active link, change its color to something like violet, for example, right? So if that is an active, so active link means when you have clicked on this. You see, when I have clicked on that, so it will become violet color. You see, when I'm clicking on that one. So these are called the pseudo selectors for our anchor tag. So anchor tag. So you see that now links are coming in a very interesting way, and we'll talk about that, how we can bring them in one line, how we can just talk about this styling. But that is typically what we are doing right now. That we can just do that one. Right. So that's typically what that is typically few of the properties of that CSS that we are just talking about. And I would be stopping over here because there are a few things that I want to discuss, which is box model and all those things, and related to this margin padding and everything that we'll discuss in the second part of this week, which will be on Friday again. And as I announced at the beginning, that the test this week will be from week 9 part 1 and the week 7, which I have discussed during my week 9 part 1. So but next class will be again important because we'll be discussing the box model. And then after that, I will just jump back to the JavaScript for some time when we will be done with the CSS, where we will do the Ajax and fetching data and updating the DOM. We'll be just doing some fun part over there. But right now I'll be just stopping over here. We've just discussed few of the properties. I've not discussed about the padding left and padding right. Why? Because first I'll discuss about the box model, and then we'll talk about all those things that we have been talking about. All right, so this is our document for today, which looks very bad right now, but anyhow, we will be just looking at some of the other options. So second, Friday you have work. So Friday I have that lecture with ZBB.U. You'll get the recording of that for second. You know what I mean, second? So it's not a live class for you. Of course, it would be a recorded one for you. So anyone else, any questions thus far? Or we may just stop here. Any questions? If you don't have any questions, just put a chat message in the chat window and you can leave if you want. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Aaron, Rohan, and Manthan, Smith, Deep. Yes, second, we will go into JavaScript. There are certain very serious topics that are remaining. The asynchronous JavaScript, I'll tell you, and Ajax and all those things, bringing up the data from the websites. Yes, which file you're talking about, Kenny? This code file you're talking about? Kenny, this code file you're talking about? Like this index style.css? Oh, you want me to? Okay, I'll just post the links. You want me to post the codes of that one? Okay, I'll do that. Don't worry. I'll do that. Don't worry. Divan, it would be releasing soon, maybe today or tomorrow. Maybe I think tomorrow it will be released, right? Thank you, Kenny. I will be just posting those notes as you are talking about from week 6 to any.